I can understand that. I can relate to that in some cases.
Mm.
But here's the thing that I'm not doing. Like some of y'all want to help the younger generation, but you're not helping the younger generation correctly. Like I understand that you want to pass on your mistakes, but the problem is that you're trying to pass your mistakes off, but you being too prideful about the information that you're giving.
What are you doing today that makes you better than the person you were yesterday? That is part of the Ascension brand. That is the motto, the heart of what we stand for. When I pass away, I want people to know. I want people to remember me. Not for the time that I've spent on this planet, but for the things that I have done to contribute to society. My mama raised a loser, but I broke the chains. I wasn't made to be a player, I was made to build a game.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dirty Trunk Podcast, where the elephant is always welcome. It is me, your boy Marcus Morton. I always say it with me is the Aaron Mack, and we're back in the lab once again at 4:31 a.m. on this lovely Saturday morning. Before we get started, please trample over that like and subscribe button. We do this for y'all because we love y'all, and we just want to give y'all the motivation to be better than y'all were yesterday. How are we doing, Mac?
I'm feeling burnt.
Feeling burnt? Yeah.
I'm talking. I'm talking toast that came out of the toaster on full dark and
Mm,
put right in the oven.
mm, mm, mm.
Yeah, that's how I'm
Yeah,
feeling right now.
it's interesting because it's weird how like I feel like that feeling has become stronger through the masses. Like I was talking with some coworkers and they're just like, man, I'm tired of this, man. I'm like, we kind of just started, man. Like what you mean? I feel off. I don't feel like coming to work today, or I don't feel like working right now, or something like that. And then my homeboy, we've been talking, about stuff we be trying to, get people to understand on the podcast and whatnot, and he's feeling the same way, and it's just like the stuff that's going on in the government and in the environment in general. It's just like, yeah, I'm tired of constantly seeing this. I'm tired of like things not going the way I want them to. I'm not living the life I want to live. I'm just it's this wave of just like, yo, we gotta do something different. And it's like everybody's on the same page nowadays, and it's just like something gonna happen. Something's coming. And it's like, why it take us this long to get here?
I think we've been here. It's like people like emotionally immature people who mask their feelings. Like we've been here, but we
Mm,
just we
yeah.
just kind of sweep it under the rug because it's too much to deal with. It's too painful. It's too dramatic or too bountiful, and the problems are too bountiful in their mass to swallow at one time. So feeling the emotion of dealing with those problems, people don't want to feel those emotions, so they just kind of find ways to mask it.
Mm. It's interesting you say that because I was watching something, and I think it was Myron. I was watching Myron Goldman, and he talked about uh uh it was around the subject that we're gonna get into later on, but it made me feel like, yo, as a community, dog, like we're weak, bruh. Like, you don't know how many times like the amount of people we know or seen that have done that. You know, they just bottle it up, sweep it on the rug, and just do the mundane, do the social norm, you know, work that 9 to 5, or, you know, go through life miserable and do absolutely nothing to change it. And it's 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 a weird feeling to see people that you know, love, care about do that constantly, do that their entire lives. And like, you think in the back of the head, like, am I expected to do the same? Like, is there nothing different for me out there for my life, my legacy I'm supposed to, you know, bring forth? Like, is this
Hmm. Yeah,
is
I
it's
can
weird.
certainly relate to that, man. Because in my environment, and you know, I'm coming to learn now that I'm a little more cultured.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm coming to learn that it was my environment that was like that, but not everybody else's environment was like that. So
Mm, yeah.
it's that exposure that becomes important when you talk about that. And you know, we talked about this on this podcast before, but just in case you're new to the Dirty Trump podcast, welcome to the Dirty Trump podcast, where the elephant is always welcome. And you know, uncomfortable conversation about growth and personal self development is the name of the game. You're gonna have to ditch your family.
Mm,
Like real talk, like you know, your environment that you so comfortable in, that you grew up in, that it's the only thing you know. If it's the only thing you know, then it's the only thing you'll ever know.
mm,
Like it's plain and simple. Like, you know, I didn't know, I wouldn't have known that Thanksgiving was supposed to be celebrated a certain way if I didn't go hang with Robert Shad's family for 1 year for Thanksgiving. They invited me up and showed me a good time, bro, and it was literally the goal. And I
come
was
on.
like, I'm thankful that this year that I wasn't at home for Thanksgiving. Like, if I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know that you could, you know, actually you can actually come together for Thanksgiving and it didn't have to be about the food.
Mm,
Free food and free alcohol. I didn't know that you can celebrate Thanksgiving and not make it about the free food and the free alcohol. I didn't know that. So, you know, I was thankful that I was able to have that opportunity to spend time with his family and see that, you know, you can do it a little bit different. Even though, you know, Alyssa came along the year after and her mom's family showed me the same exact thing. So, like I was able to be exposed to that side of the tracks. And with, you know, most of you, you're not being exposed to anything outside of your environment. I can relate to the fact that my environment told me that I wasn't going to be anything, because just specifically because I was from that particular environment. And here's how deep it is. Do y'all know that social security numbers are a classification system?
mm,
You can look at a social security number and you can tell the time that someone was born just by hours. You can tell where they were born just by some of the digits in the social security number. Yeah. There's a state code, there's an area code, and a city code all wrapped in a social security number. So somebody can tell exactly where you born at.
that's crazy.
Do you know that your social security number itself is part of the classification that keeps you bound to the environment that you're stuck in? So
No.
it's all about it's about exposure, bro. Like it's not even it's not a game no more, bro. Like if your environment is making you feel stuck, like yo, you gotta ship out. Like that's one of the reasons, that's the biggest reason why I joined the army as soon as I graduated high school, because I was like, I got to see something else. I got to be exposed to something else before it's too late.
Mm. Yeah. And even in that, that's a lot of people's only choice to get that exposure. And it's crazy because people that are stuck, that don't, take that choice, that don't, follow their dreams or goals or anything like that, they don't they don't do anything. They literally just sit in the cesspool that is their environment, and they don't go nowhere. They don't even try. Like it'll be one thing to, go through every possible choice to get out, but they settle. And I'm talking about like there's cats that's born and raised in the environment that you live in. It happens everywhere, and like they
Born,
don't know.
raised, and die.
Yeah,
Born,
yeah.
raised, live, and die. Or born, raised, existed, and died in the same environment. Not living. They ain't love. They ain't never lived.
Not at all. They've never experienced, traveling out of state, traveling to like a different country, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and it's almost sad. Like the little traveling I have done, I've been on a plane. I went to upstate New York. Everybody thinks, New York is like New York City. When you think of New York, you think of New York City because that's all I thought before I went up there. And I'm talking about like they got a countryside and it is beautiful. Like
Yeah.
the New York
Yeah.
the New York area that borders Niagara Falls it's a sight to see. And I'm like, yo, people don't experience this. Like people just know the small town that they're in, and
Yeah. Whatever the news say.
right. And I'm like, yo, it has to be a change. If you want better for yourself, like you're gonna have to experience life outside of your environment. Because 9 times out of 10, the environment you're in, if you're feeling like Mike Max said, if you're feeling stuck, you have to get out of it. Like you have to find your people, your community of whatever goal that you're striving for, uh, and go there. Like you grew up in the environment you're in that you feel stuck in, and no one believes in your dreams. But you find a community online or outside of your environment, and you got people that are supportive. You got people that'll help you reach your goal. Just strangers, random strangers, but like the people that you grew up with, they'll do the exact opposite. They'll be like, "Oh, we don't do that. Oh, you can't accomplish that from this small town. Nobody from here has ever done that." And people believe it. People just they be like, you know what, you right, and fall right in line.
Some people are told that ain't nobody in your family ever done that, so why would you want to do that? As if we got some kind of family legacy to uphold.
Yeah, like
Like if every generation a blank slate, then why the fuck does it matter what the first person did? It's like
right.
what?
And it's wild because we got other minorities and like just other cultures that'll take pride in that. Like, yo, this is the first line of whatever last name to go to college to uh get a 6-figure job or something, or to start their own business. You got people that'll sing their kids praises over stuff like this, but like in our environment, it's just like, what are you doing that for? That's not gonna make you any money. That's not gonna, it's not gonna give you that safety net that we talk about. It's not gonna. get you through the week or anything like that. You're gonna be struggling. It's gonna be so hard. It's not a very lucrative job or something like that, and it's just like, where's the
Yeah.
support? Like,
Yeah.
at least let the person try, or
That,
it's
that
wild.
boy Steve Harvey said, I got told many times that acting a fool won't go pay my bills. He
Look
said
at that
now
man now.
he said now me acting a fool can now pay my bills, the people's bills who told me that, and their family's bills.
Mm,
And what am I doing right now? Acting a goddamn fool.
yeah, it's just, I ain't gonna just say it's just knowing the system. It's just like, it's too much evidence out here of people making a living doing what they love
Hmm.
for us to constantly be in environments where people are doing what they hate, being miserable, and only making paycheck to paycheck, only living paycheck
Yeah,
to paycheck.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
too much of it out here now. Like, this is the information age. You can literally, like, close your eyes, throw a dart at a board that has, many types of careers and just like creative stuff on there, and you can make money in that field. You can thrive in that field, and it's just like, what is it gonna take to get the people that want to shift? What is it gonna take to get them to shift?
Hmm. What I what I started to notice was that a lot of people they WebMD this thing.
Mm, yeah.
Like they got some bad information from one weird source one day in the distant past, and they just ran with it. Like I had somebody yesterday. They came in. This young lady. She was 23 years old, I think. If I'm not mistaken, she was about 23. She was coming to buy her first motorcycle. Now she was with her boyfriend, and they not married, but there was a few things I noticed. Personal stuff. I'm not about to
Put their
put them out
business
there
out
like
there.
that.
Yeah.
But you know, um, it was just some weird stuff. Like they ran her credit. She ain't had no credit history, which 23 years old and you a young African American female,
Mm,
I think it's a damn good thing that you don't have credit. Because that means that first of all, nobody has taken your identity and started a credit card in your name when you was the baby, and or if they did, well, they didn't because she ain't had no credit history. But whatever the case is, so there was a few options that we had to give her. Get a cosigner, blase blase split, whatever the case is, pay the joint off full, whatever. But as we were as a staff discussing her options, one of the dudes was like, get a secure credit card. Tell her to get a secure credit card. I'm like, first of all, bro, I'm here to sell motorcycles. I'm not a financial guru. Like, let's go ahead and
mm,
put that out there. I ain't here for that. So I'm not telling her a damn thing. I'm gonna tell her the facts.
right.
Like no disrespect. Like I'm gonna tell her the facts. But then I thought about the fact that he said that, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's cool and all. But I mean, me personally, if we looking to get credit history, I can't ride a credit card. So I would much rather, me personally, I would much rather get the motorcycle. And I
Mm,
told my man, I was like, bro, do you know if she got the motorcycle, it'll be it'll have the same outcome as getting a secure credit card. And he was like, nah, because having the secure credit card will raise your credit. And I'm like, no, a secure credit card is a credit card that you buy into
Yeah.
without having to get a credit check. It's like, so it would be the same thing. At
Yeah.
least one thing she would get to enjoy on the way. But like he argued with me or he wanted to argue with me for about 5 minutes about, the differences between. And I was like, oh, aren't you in debt up to your eyeballs?
Oh man, he had to hit the man like that.
I'm bro, for real. Like, the reason I say that is because it's dudes out here who making dumbass financial decisions,
Yeah.
but they're going off of the same dumbass financial information that they have received since they were a child.
Mm.
They WebMD in this joint, Mark. They like, okay, well, I saw such and such do this, so this is the right move. They listening to the old person with no money talk about, well, if I was you, I would do the XYZ. Well, you're not me. So we can end this conversation.
Yep.
And I have plenty of people doing that to me. I had a guy just yesterday. He came in to get something, had a credit score of like a 450,
Ooh.
and was trying to give me financial advice just because I was younger than him.
Oh no,
My credit score is double his.
bruh. You nah.
And I'm like, bro, what are you doing? But just because he's a brother,
Mhm.
it didn't have the nerve to throw in the white man in it. Because this is
Shame.
about the white man, right?
Common excuse. That's insane. It's I never really understood. Like, I mean, I understand it. I really do. It's something about like people like that. They feel like when they get up there in age, they just like entitled to preach to the young people. But like it's just like you don't have no type of rapport or reputation that says what you're saying is accurate, is correct, is gonna actually push somebody forward. Yeah, that advice you giving is doing the complete opposite. I had a dude 50 years old out the military, went to the military. I don't know if he retired or anything like that, but like you would think this man should, be able to be on his feet, be, some type of influence of the community. No, he complete opposite. Just like uh then had the nerve getting my vehicle. I was taking this guy to work because we was working at the same job. He trying to preach to me, and I'm like, dog,
You catching
you
rise from a 20-year-old.
exactly, and you living on your girlfriend's couch with her, how many, 3, 4 kids,
You're not even in the bed.
dog. What you better get in this vehicle and be quiet. I don't want to have no type of advice. Don't even touch the
Mouth
radio,
talking
bruh.
church mouse.
I'm like,
You
wow.
better be able to hear the radio on 0 volume over you.
I'm like, dog, what is you saying? It's like, yeah, man, if you get this job, you put a certain amount aside and all this other stuff. I'm like, bruh, don't. Let's not.
So for anybody who's listening who's older and you feel like you want to be a value, because I think I understand the sentiment. You squandered your time.
Mm.
And I can understand that. I can relate to that in some cases.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing that I'm not doing. Like some of y'all want to help the younger generation, but you're not helping the younger generation correctly. Like I understand that you want to pass on your mistakes, but the problem is that you're trying to pass your mistakes off, but you being too prideful about the information that you're giving. Like for real, if if you see me in a position that you may have thought you were in when you were younger, here's how I much rather you approach that situation. Young man, I see you balling out of control. And as a black man to a black man, I'm proud of you. Oh, it ain't even got to be black man to black man. It could be just man to man.
Yeah.
As man to man, I'm proud of you. Cause at your age, boy, I can remember doing that. I can remember being that. Like, bro, for real. It was a good time, bro. And I know you probably doing your thing out here. But let me tell you something. I just don't want you to be where I am right now because at one time I saw myself. I was where you are right now. And I made this mistake and this is where it led me. So if you ever come across that, make sure you turn in the opposite direction. Or if you decide to do it, make sure you do XYZ because this is something I wish I knew when I was your age. Why is that so hard?
Facts.
Why is that so hard?
Like I'd listen to that like that. That spoke to me. But
Bro, I've had to tell people that. Like I had to sit people down to say that, bro.
mhm. it, it's that pride. Oh my God, yeah, that pride to mess up a a good thing. Like you can have all good intentions, but like that pride just it sends the message off in a completely screwed up way. Like
Mhm.
like a dude that I was talking about, he could have all good intentions, but like just that, oh well, if you do this like this, man, you could be balling, we could be balling, all everybody could be balling, all this other stuff. It's just like, nah, because you not balling right now, so you not in a good position to
You're
be
not even
saying
balling.
like I'm like, no, no.
You up here acting, bro. Like what are we
Yo,
doing?
yeah, like acting like things are good, and like it is, and it's so weird because it's like, who are you flexing for, bro? Like at this moment in time, we're in the same boat. We're in the same situation. I'm just a little bit younger, so I got time to make my mistakes. I'm making them now, and I'm gonna get it together later on down the road. But like, what do you have? You like in your 50s, bro. You up there in age, like you ain't doing nothing. You in the same boat, making the same mistakes
I'm
over
half
and over
your
again.
age. I'm half your age, and we make the same money,
Mm. Yep.
and your credit score worse than mine. So who should be mentoring who right now?
X.
Because I'm an impulsive spender, and I still got a better credit score than most people.
Mm.
That's double my age.
Big facts.
Until some other type of folks come in and drop cash on the thing that you need a cosigner for, and y'all the
Mm.
same age. All right, so you missed that. All right, we can breeze past it. We can breeze past it. It's okay. It's okay.
What you mean?
All right, so like I said, like some other folks coming in and they dropping cash for the shit that you need a cosigner for,
Mm.
and they the same age as you,
Got you.
but
Yep.
you won't give me advice because I'm younger. Okay, okay, all right.
Big
It look like
facts.
you having a conversation with the wrong goddamn people. Like that's what it is. You trying to like Ma said, you flexing. You flexing because you trying to justify the situation you in. That's what you're doing. I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to the dude who just dropped cash that worked from home, who dropped cash for a $44,000 vehicle, just wrote a check out and be like, all right, I'll come back tomorrow when it clear. I want to talk to that dude. I don't want to talk to you. Because I want exposure. I want exposure. Like I told you, I want exposure. So if I'm exposed to things that's outside of the norm, then it makes me abnormal. I'm just gonna put it like that. It makes me abnormal. I want to be abnormal. I don't want to be. I want to be extraordinary. I don't want to be ordinary.
Big facts. That's interesting, right? Because speaking of like talking to people that are making these big moves out here, right? You know, I don't know if anybody else has these moments where like something strange happens, like you doing the norm, you following the rules, and like something strange happens and to push you in this position that it's almost like a act of God is why you're in this situation, right? I was working last week, and I basically get a job for this address for a house. So I'm following the GPS, and first of all, it takes me to the wrong place. Like GPS has the actual location, and where the GPS took me totally wrong. So I finally find the place, and I look up my workload or whatever, or the maps to see what utilities for us is in the area. Nothing is in the area. So I'm like, why did I even get this ticket? So I pull up, dude comes meet me at the driveway, and young black man, brand new house getting built. I'm supposed to locate something out here, and I'm like, I don't really know what to tell you, bruh. Like, there ain't nothing like coming to your house or like even around your house. I don't even know why I'm here. He was like, man, come on back. We got a little shindig going on, whatever, you know. Take a load off, you know, take a break. You know, you could tell him whatever. And so we got talking, and this man's not his first house. He actually got like a couple of rental properties, and we just got to talking, and I'm like, yo, it's a really nice house. I'm like, how'd you get up in it? He was like, man, just got a couple of rental properties. You know, I work remote for a tech company, and for real, like me and wife, we just kind of been chilling. Like we fixed up a couple of homes, and like we won't really like it won't that hard. We was just kind of like just doing the thing, just like, you know, we find decent houses that don't really take that much work to put into them, and we got like 3-4 of them, and they make us money. We just chilling, bro. And I'm like, that easy, that easy. And it's like, without being put in that position, I'm pretty sure a mountain of people believe that, you know, getting into real estate is the hardest thing in the world. It's almost like playing the lottery, or like buying stock or something like that. And without that exposure, without talking to that guy, without, you know, meeting a person like that of the same color, like a brother, dude was young cat. Like he ain't really had no facial hair like talking about. He got a little stubble or whatever, and he's living a life that people twice his age, twice our age, ain't even touched yet. People twice our age still renting, still going from house to house because,
Yeah, see, no problem with it.
like, I know a friend's family. I think they finally settled down into a house, but it was like each school year, we like, yo, we going to such and such house. All right, it's still at the same address. Nah, it's a new address. What you mean?
Had to ask that. When you had to ask that, that's problematic for me. That's on the same verge as people who get a new phone number every 20 days.
Had that too in my environment.
I don't associate myself with them, bro. because it says a lot about the person's character. Like, and I don't want to be.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be rude or nasty to nobody, bro. Like, but it just speaks a lot to how a person spends their time if
Mhm.
they have the time to change their phone number every 20 days. And like literally, I know somebody who has a new phone number every 20 days. Well, knew somebody, and they still they still on the same stuff,
Yeah.
and they'd have burned every big major phone company in the world right now. They'd have burned every last one of them, and now
Mhm.
working on it. Got to do prepaid because
Yeah.
they owe the big companies so much money, and they can't get a phone line because they owe them money.
So is that what it was?
Yeah,
Cause I
yeah.
was so confused. I was like, bro, you know you can like transfer your number over to. I'm like, why you got like your name in my phone is literally there like 4 5 times, bro. What is happening here? I'm just like, I understand now. Now that okay, I understand. I understand completely. That person was not well off with he was not financial literate. He that makes so much sense now. Um, but
But
like
oh, go ahead.
I was gonna slide into it. I was gonna be like,
Yeah, I
it's
got you.
ridiculous
I got
how we
you.
got.
Oh,
What you say? Okay.
well, you going?
I was gonna say say rock, paper, scissors. I was gonna say it's ridiculous how we people in our environment they get in those situations and like we said at the beginning of the episode, like people don't strive to get out of it, strive to do more because they make these problems or the things that they go through, they make a very big deal about them, and
It's
all it
irritating, bro.
takes all it takes is just you going for it, like you doing it. That's all it takes. Like dude I was talking to, he just did it. Like he I don't know if he saved or the tech job paid very well or something, but like all it takes is for you to buy the first one, start the first goal, and then you just keep going. You add on to it.
Yeah. I know a man who just bought and I know him personally. Alyssa is actually more friends with him than I am, but we know this guy personally from some of the groups that we're involved with. But
Mm-hmm.
this man, he just bought an 18 unit apartment complex, bro. And his story, he started off just like in the same boat that we were in. He
Mm-hmm.
bought a house, he lived in it, and he decided he want to move. And when he did that, he bought another house and he kept the one that he was in. So he moved somebody up in the one that he was living at, moved into the new joint, and did that about 2 or 3 times. Start earning a little more income, start buying duplexes, and over time he was able to do the damn thing. So like we can see the steps just based off of what we're doing because he broke it down to us. You know what I mean? So like what irritates me is a bunch of people standing around staring up at a bunch of mountaintops.
Mm-hmm.
The top of your head is touching your back because you got to look up so far to try to see the end of your goal, and you not looking at the steps in front of you. It got a ladder right on the side of it, but you just staring at the mountaintop. It irritates me that there's so many people right now, Mark. There's so many people who would say that a goal is too big just because it's a big goal. Just because there's a lot of steps in it. Because you can't do it in one foul swoop.
Mm.
You just like, oh my God, it can't be done. Because it's gonna take you a few years to get it done. Oh my God, it can't be done. Because you can't get paid bi-weekly for this goal, it can't be done. Irritating, bro. Like I hear so many people saying, how hard something is going to be, and instead of focusing on how possible it is, they're
Mm.
focusing on how hard it's going to be, how long it's going to take, how old I'm going to be by the time I'm done with this, how much time it's going to take is their biggest problem. Because how much time is going to go by before I can get paid for this? How much energy do I have to put into this before I get paid for this? Before it becomes lucrative? So many people are focusing on the wrong thing when it comes to building their goals. You focusing on what you're gonna have when the goal is complete, opposed to what you're gonna have to do in order to complete the goal.
Yeah. And it's first of all, it's in scripture. To much is given, to much is required. So if you want the big thing, if you want the big goals, there's a lot on the back end that you have to put forward, that you have to learn, that you have to do to get that. It's point blank simple. Like Mac just said a mouthful, right? And it's insane that we get stuck in a 9 to 5 because of, we look at these great, amazing goals. We look at them and like, yo, we can't do that. That's too big. It's gonna take a lot of time. But that 9 to 5 you're working at, it's gonna take you 69 years to retire. Oh, the goal is it's gonna take so much of my time, so much of my energy. You complaining about work. You gotta take pills now because your back is aching, your legs, your knees, your joints. They screaming at you like, do something else. And you constantly going to that job, wearing your body down even more. You drinking three, four energy drinks, I was in the boat, just to push yourself through the day. You, what is it really gonna take you to go for your goals? Because working that 9 to 5, going to that job, going to a job repeatedly for 69 years, that seems a lot like a big waste to me. I'd rather, I don't know, live under a cave and try to work on my dreams than to go to a 9 to 5 for 69. They expect you to go there for 69 years and only give you what is it once you get out? 60% of your paycheck?
I don't know. It depends on the job.
Depends on the job. So it's not even guaranteed that you're
You
gonna
can
make
only
the
invest
amount.
on 401k, which is just a savings account. You can build a
It's
401k
ridiculous.
on your own. Let's just show you how deep it is,
You could
or
do
how shallow it is
so
to put. You can
so
build a
much on your
401k on
own
your own.
that people don't even people think they need a job for some benefits that they literally have commercials about stuff you can get on your own that you don't need a job for.
Well, no, like you can open up a savings account and have money just go into it, and it's the same as a 401k. It's the exact same thing. The only thing is that you don't have a company throwing 5 cents to your dollar every dollar that you put in.
Yeah.
That's the only
Oh
difference.
man.
But if it's in a savings account, it builds interest over time, so it becomes the same exact thing.
Yep. And then wait, Ed, you can't dip into. I mean, you can.
No,
You can't dip into a
you gotta
401k.
you gotta pay back your 401k if you dip into it. Some people take out loans against their 401k and have to pay them back. I had a guy when I worked at Walmart distribution center. He
Mm-hmm.
used to do it all the time. He used to take loans out against his 401k just so he can go on vacations with his family. and then he'll have to pay it back. And when you pay it back, they had to take more out of his paycheck to compensate the amount that he took out. So he'll be getting paychecks that's like 40% of it is already gone before he takes it,
Oh
and
no.
that's on top of what they already take
Hold up.
before they give you your money anyway. And that Walmart was they took money, they skimmed money off the top,
Come
and
on,
they made up a number.
bruh.
Yeah, yeah. I had a lot of inconsistent paychecks, bro. A lot of inconsistent paychecks.
Oh no. And
$21 an hour. But you were making $21
right.
an hour. That's all that mattered to people.
Yep. And it's clear as day that, you know, big corporations aren't for the people. They're not built to make the people in our environment successful. They're made to make a lot of
Let's not
money
do that.
for
We
themselves.
we
Let's
here
not go there.
we here to talk about big goals, bro.
All right, all right, all right.
We here to talk about big goals. I want to talk about that because I want to talk about why people annoy me. Because there's a lot of people who say who say they got these goals, Mark,
Mm-hmm.
and for whatever reason they can't figure it out. They can't figure out a way to get started on the goal. They can't figure out a way to put their big toe into it. They can't.
Whew.
They can't do it. Like like you telling me exactly what needs to be done, but in the same vein, in the same breath, you also giving me a bunch of excuses why you can't do it.
Mm.
Why are we even talking about it? If you just gonna give me, bro, I ain't never gave nobody an excuse of why I can't finish a book. I ain't never. I ain't never looked at nobody and be like, man, writing is too hard, man. Writing a book is too hard, man. Do you know how hard writing a book is? Do you know how long it takes to write a book, bro? No, I make goals and I make deadlines and I accomplish those. I put myself in the environment. I got a calendar where it says, yo, finish it on this day. Though I missed my deadline, that's not really relevant, but I still made the deadline. I missed my deadline because the book got longer. What's your excuse?
Mm.
I put more work in. That's why my deadline got pushed back. You put
Hey
less work
man.
in and your deadline still ain't made. Bruh, here's the problem that I have with this situation. Because I was told that if you wanted it bad enough, if your why was strong enough, and you want success bad enough, there's no excuse that'll stop you. So if something can stop you, do you really want it?
Mm. Yep.
It's a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
people
Yeah.
saying they want it. It's a lot of people saying they want it, but they let everything stop them. They got
Mm-hmm.
they got shoestrings on the floor. Okay, yeah, that's an obstacle right there. There's a Lego over there. I can't do that. That tree right there, can't walk around that. That's too much. There's a fence over there. Yup, that's definitely gonna stop me right there. Paycheck to paycheck. I can't afford not to go without this paycheck. So I gotta leave a friend behind. Nah, I can't do that. Can't do that, bruh. And meanwhile, I'm over here like I'm over here RKOing grandmas trying to get to my goal.
Yeah.
I figure I'll bring that back for early on in the podcast.
Yeah.
And for real, I saw y'all message last night after I got back home, bro. And I'm
Mm.
like, and I was just thinking about it, like, yo, I don't understand why we having this conversation. We should be past this by now.
Yeah.
Like for real, like I'm like, yo, I see I got everything laid out right now. The only matter the only thing that's in front of me right now is committing to the actions that's going to get me to the next step. Like the goal is already set. My goal has been set for how 6 years now. Well, how long we been on this? Man, it's been a long time. 4 or 5 years. God, it's
Mad you
been a
let
while.
you watch. It was like 6 years.
Wait, what the hell is this gonna tell me, right? Right. It's been a minute, bro. So
Yeah.
like we've been planning this for a while, dog. I mean, a long time, and I want something that's bigger than anybody can really put. Like you can't even imagine the things that I see in my head for the eighth of universe. You can't even imagine the things that I see in my head for Morton's Castle. You can't even imagine the things that I got in my head for Ascension Media. You can't even imagine it. So I'm the thing is that I've already laid out what it's going to take, the team of people that we're going to need, because that's something that as a CEO, that's something that I had to do. The CEO of of myself, that's something that I had to do. But there's a lot of people out here, you waiting to get instructions for what you need to do. You waiting for somebody to come tell you exactly what you need to do. You waiting for somebody to come pull you out of bed and tell you that you need to get to work. You waiting for somebody to look at you and be like, if you don't come to work today, you fired.
Mm.
That's what you need in your life, apparently. So when I say that I wake up 4 o'clock every morning, whether to do a podcast, whether to write, or whether to come up with a business plan, when I say I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, I did it because I got a purpose. And some of y'all don't get up. You don't see a need to get up because your purpose or the purpose that you chose for yourself, it ain't big enough. It ain't deep enough. It don't even move you to move.
And I think that's what it is. That's the main reason why the people in our environment. That's why people annoy you. That's why the people in our environment stay in the environment that we grew up in. Is because they settle. They don't have, or they either don't have it or they haven't found it. The thing that would make them get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to work on it. That'll have them up all night, sleepless, can't sleep for days because
Bro, I'm telling you.
they they see the environment, they see the cesspool that they're in, and they're like, yo, no more, no more of this. Like I don't care what I gotta do, what I need to learn. I'm going to be successful, and there's nothing gonna stop me. Like Max said, y'all let everything. It's like y'all start to go with the intentions of coming to the first obstacle, coming to a obstacle and stopping, and then complaining like, yo, that was too big. You on the steps to the mountaintop and you trip, and you're like, oh man, this wasn't for me. I failed. Now I'm back at the bottom.
Bro.
Man, if you don't get up and keep going, you know how many times Jeff Bezos failed? How many times Michael Jordan failed? How many times Elon Musk failed? How many times all these people that you idolize, that you watch on
Tom
TV?
Brady,
You said Tom
Peyton
Brady.
Manning,
Uh,
yeah, failed.
And it's like,
In fact, Tom Brady's the beginning of his career started off with a failure, and the reason I'm going with that because most people know football. They know football more than they know their own life.
right,
So Tom Brady. I don't know if you remember this or not, but Tom Brady was a 99th draft pick.
ninth.
99th. That man promised his that man he felt so bad about being the 99th draft pick that this man cried to his family and said, I failed you. They said, but son, you made it in the NFL. He said, no, I barely made it.
Mm.
That man used that moment as fuel to his career.
We can't. we can't even use. We're miserable. to make us change the small things. Like you still out here, eating unhealthy. You still, uh, spending money with the intent of just living your life in luxury when you ain't putting back into that. You just take it, I'm like, yo,
Bro, my wife cried because I had to go to work yesterday, bro.
it's
Like something that I do every single day.
mm,
And she cried because I had to go to work yesterday. And it wasn't like I don't want you to go to work. It's like it was, and I saw it in her spirit. It's like I don't like this.
mm,
I don't enjoy this. Meanwhile, she's holding our daughter, and I didn't even have the time to, like, I had to rush out the door, bruh.
oh,
I didn't even have the time to sit down and console her because I had to be on somebody's clock, bruh. Like, how do situations like that happen to you on a normal day-to-day basis, and you okay with it?
a lot of
Like, how
times
does
people aren't.
how does stuff like that happen and you can just ignore it and just act like it didn't happen and just keep moving and pretending like you the man?
Mm,
Because there's a lot of people who going through the same exact thing and they pretending like they the man. You you up here living like a king. You pretending. And you got stuff like that happening behind you. So I'm gonna ask this question. What does life mean to you? What is your why? Because if you can see stuff like that happening in your day to day, and like for real, like even if your wife can't stand you, because there's a lot of people who their philosophy on goals, it goes into their philosophy and how they pick their women. So even if your wife can't stand you, y'all got kids. You can look at your kid's face and see that they getting sad when you leave in the house, and you still don't do nothing about it. Nothing. What is your why? What is it that you have that's motivating you? What is your desire? What do you desire to have? If it ain't if you don't desire for your family to be happy in your presence, what is it that you truly desire, fam? What is it that you want out of life? What do you want? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Like if nothing that you are doing is a hindrance to what you want to be in life, like if you woke up one day and money was not an issue, all of your finances are paid in full, you ain't got no debt, and you made as much money or as little money as you wanted, what does your life look like? Are the people around you happy? Do the people around you want to be in your presence? Do they still want to be in your presence? What does your family look like? What does your house look like? Think about these things. Imagine these things. What does it look like? And once you figure that part out, it is up to you to figure out how to get there. If I'm talking to men, it is up to you to figure out how to get there. It is not up to anybody else. You are going to have uncomfortable moments. You are going to have setbacks. You are going to stumble down this mountain that you're climbing up. The thing is that every foothold, every grab of the hand that you get, Marcus had to teach me about small wins. And what that taught me was that every step that I take is moving me towards that goal. Whether it's little step, whether it's a giant step, whether it's a jump or I pole vault this bitch, it's still a step towards the goal.
yep. And a lot of times, the real big reason people don't even start, don't even go for it, don't succeed at their goals is they don't prepare for the fall. And when they do fall, they they make a very big deal about it. And I'm like,
Right.
even though you failed,
Right.
even though it happened, something happened, and
You right, Bot.
you want that to happen. You want you you living now. You going towards something that has merit. Like writing a book. You know when you start it, it won't just all right. I'm gonna write it, and then I put it out there. All right, I'm gonna write it. I gotta edit it. You gotta proofread it. All this other stuff. Now that you learned it, it's like second nature. You do it so much now. You rewrite a book, and that book turns into 3-4 books, 4-5 books.
Yeah. Yeah. It's still getting longer.
And it's like
Yeah.
you got people climbing the mountain. Like Herb said, high stepping. They enjoying the trip up the mountain. They singing songs. They just yeah. And you walking, you miserably walking up there. You trip and fall. You don't want to continue. But people tripping, people falling, people playing around, people just enjoying the trip in general. And they're like, "Yo, I'm going towards the mountaintop." Like that's the whole thing. We're so worried about I don't even know, getting paid in between the steps or something, or getting paid on our way up there. I don't know what some people are worried about, but it's just like, yo, this is the journey that you have to take if you want
I gotta
to
agree.
get out of the environment. Like the mountaintop is just the destination. You're gonna have falls, you're gonna have obstacles, you're gonna have uh people trying to bring you down because they stopped.
Mm.
You gonna meet people along the way that they made it to a certain point and they just like, you know what, I'm fine right here. I'm gonna settle right here, and then try to give you advice to push you forward, but you already steps past them.
All right.
But, oh, go ahead.
So I'm gonna make a contrast real quick. And I was watching Alyssa deal with Amara recently, and there was a point where I can't remember exactly what happened, but Amara got hurt, and you could tell she got hurt because babies, they cries. It's a little different when
Yeah,
they
they
feel pain.
vocalize. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it gets a little that little high pitched joint go in there in the middle.
Yeah.
So like it happened, and Alyssa, her whole her whole her whole demeanor changed. It was like we acknowledging this pain, and we gonna acknowledge it together. And it was like the whole, baby, you okay? It's okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. And I'm like, bro, don't do that. And she got pissed at me because I was like, all right, I understand you trying to comfort our child. Here's my problem with watching you do this. You were already comforting her, so you don't need to take comfort to a whole nother level just because she got hurt. You're already in the middle of comforting her. You're already doing what you can do. You don't need to be extra about it. And she sent me a video yesterday, and it was it was another mom, one of those mom influencers off of Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
who was talking about the psychology of it, and she was like, "It's gonna be hard, but I understand. I got you." I was like, "All right, cool." So like Yeah, I bring that up because, and I don't know what it is. I think environmentally, some of you guys, y'all got y'all got a little too much extra attention whenever you fail. You got a little too much extra attention, you know. And I think public school systems and all that other stuff like that. We kind of talked about it on the episode previous to this, but uh, um, the public school system, they say, when you fail, you got to be made a spectacle of. You got to put the big fat F on top of your joint. So like you used to failing, and every time you fail, somebody make a big deal of it. So like as we talk about this mountaintop, here's what I'm noticing. Because failure is inevitable.
Right.
If you don't fail, you don't succeed. And there's been multiple cases and multiple people who have said that I've succeeded a whole lot less than I failed. Even though you see me with this wild, massive success that influences everybody, I have become a household name. I have still failed more times than I succeeded. You just don't know about all the failures. The problem with you and some of y'all is that as you're failing, instead of getting back up and moving forward and continuing to climb your mountain, you are still complaining about the time that you failed. You still whining and crying
Mm,
about that time back in 1996 when things was supposed to look up, and somebody said they were gonna do something for you and they didn't show up, or they didn't give you the money, or this person didn't do what they were supposed to do. You still crying about that time. You still crying about 1989 when Desert Storm was happening and you had to get deported, or blase splee, and this and it didn't go right, and now you here. You crying about yesterday when somebody said this to you and it pissed you, it messed your whole day up. Bruh, you gotta get off of it. If it doesn't benefit your future, move on. Make it happen, move on and keep climbing. Your failures does not matter until they become the story that inspires the next person behind you to keep going when they fail.
yeah. It's your failures don't define you. They don't define anyone. Like all the successful people that you can think of, we don't know them because of their failures, unless, like you said, they have a book or some type of course that explains that this failure is what got me to this point, or these failures are what gave me the idea for XYZ or whatever. You know, um, we won't know unless they tell us. Point blank, simple. And
Oprah became a billionaire for her failures.
who
Oprah
exactly? And
became
it's
a
like
billionaire.
we can do the
Believe.
same. We can be in that same boat. We can get out the environment. We can do the we can do the dang thing. We can do anything. Anything you can imagine in your head is possible. But because that mountain looks so big, we don't even start. Like Max said, we up in that jank, like the old school Walmart demo game TVs. We looking at that jank like neck hurting. We got crooks in the neck because you done sat there and stared at that jank so long, and you debated with yourself for so long that you didn't even start. And all it takes is one step after another step and another step till you reach the top. What we got coming up for the people, man? I'm losing my voice right now.
Um, so right now, I'm just working on some back end stuff because we still at the beginning of our phase one. So that means that we ain't got the staff right now. So we doing things in house. So right now, unfortunately, I got to spend time working on something that's going to brand me as the as AJ the Iron Titan, and try to get some more clientele to come visit me and buy some power sports stuff. So I'll be working on that soon. So if you guys are in the local area, the Prince George, Petersburg, Richmond, Chesterfield, Tri City area, Hopewell, I got a lot of people. Shout out to Stanley Davis, one of the other YouTubers out there. He's a moto vlogger who came up there to visit me. Was like, yo, I came here because I saw that you was working here now, so I'm gonna be spending a lot more time up here with you, man. We need to make some
Hey,
content together. So you know, just chopped it up with him a little bit ago. Uh, but yeah, man. So if you in the local area and looking for your next ride, you know where to find me. I'm at Red Line Power Sports in Prince George, Virginia. That's my current day job right now, but still making all efforts move towards finishing the Arcane legacy of the Arcane and Flame, and as well as starting on efforts to writing the next perma free book that's going to be going out to people, and I'm excited about that perma free book, man. I'm really excited about that because it's a concept that I thought about already, and I think it just based on the context of that series alone, because that one's going to be a book one of another series, but that's a topic for another day. But that one's going to be my perma free. It's going to be the one that ties things together, brings people into the series. I'm excited to finally be writing about apocalyptic stuff again, and because that's where this all started, at me writing about apocalyptic fantasy and all that other stuff like that too. So yeah, that's what I'm working on right now, and the Legacy of the Arcane and Flame still is in pre-order right now. So head over to Amazon right now. June 11th is the release date for Legacy of the Arcane and Flame. June 11th is when that book is going to be released. So get on over to Amazon right now and cop a copy of Legacy of the Arcane and Flame. Put it on pre-order.
that's what's up. It's the IT on the IT. It's the IT guy on the IT. I like that. I like that. Currently still working on my release for the just a simple game to get my feet wet, and then after that I'm definitely gonna try to you know kind of follow along with you and you get that community rolling for Morton's Castle. Maybe start getting into a couple of groups that have people looking for some work that they
Mhm.
can do on the side just to get their own feet wet. People in the same boat as me, because that's all it is. Networking. That's almost like the easiest way to for people to get out of their environment is to find the people that are not just like them, but the people that are a little bit ahead, that are a couple of steps up, that will uplift you, that are willing to uplift you, so you guys can grow together. That's all it is, people. Um, if we ain't got nothing else, this has been the Dirty Trunk Podcast, where the elephant is always welcome. It's me, your boy Marcus Morton. Always here with me is the Aaron Mack. And before we go, please trample over that like and subscribe button. We do this for y'all because we love y'all, and we just want to give y'all the motivation to be better than y'all were yesterday. And always remember, those who shy away from addressing the elephant in the room are doomed to be crushed by the weight of it. We love y'all.
Peace. Love y'all. See y'all next week.